So today we're going to talk about single family versus multifamily. There's actually quite a huge difference. They're both residential real estate, but one is residential and one is kind of more commercial. If you're going over 5 units in a multifamily building, that's sort of seen as commercial. The only reason why it's seen as commercial is because those are mostly for investors. Before we get into the details, it's important to understand the fundamental difference between single family and multifamily so that you can immediately know the difference, but then we're going to compare them and see some of the benefits and disadvantages between the two. A single family by nature is essentially a piece of real estate that one family unit will live in. That's a single family unit. A multifamily is where more than one family unit can stay in a property. So that could be a duplex, a triplex, a 24plex. It doesn't really matter as long as it's not one. There's 4 major components about single family. Number 1, affordability. Single family residences are the most affordable type of real estate. In fact, it's one of the easiest to get into. In fact, most investors, most homeowners, they go for single family investments. The reason why is because there's so many financing options. So I recommend if you're trying to get into real estate for the first time, go the single family route. It's also more conservative strategy if you're just getting started. The second thing about single family is appreciation. Single family homes tend to appreciate much more than multifamily homes. So you're able to, on average, about 5% a year. So you get much more, especially if you're in a nice neighborhood or a gentrifying neighborhood, you're able to see much more appreciation from that single asset. So you build equity much faster than in a multifamily property. The third thing is you actually get better tenants. And by having better tenants, you're able to get, have much more relationship with them. Most of the time it's a whole family living in a house. So it's not people that are short-term based or transient based. So you're really able to get a long-term lease. It does limit what you can increase your rent on an annual basis, but most of the time you have a very stable tenant, and that helps you pay down your mortgage and also build equity over the long term. The fourth advantage is that it is the most liquid asset. It's the most liquid type of real estate. What I mean by that is that anybody would buy a single family home depending on the price. Like you can drop the price and you can move a single family, you can liquidate a single family property very quickly. Try doing the same thing with, for example, a coal mine. It's much harder to sell a coal mine as an investment opportunity than a single family home, because most people just understand single families, 3 bedroom, 2 bathroom, 2 bedroom, 1 bathroom, whatever it is, X amount of square feet. Everybody knows what it is. So it's the most affordable, most liquid, and probably the most conservative, great entry-level asset if you want to get started in investing in real estate. Now let's talk about multifamily. There's 4 features of a multifamily investment that you need to know about. Number 1 is you're able to earn higher income per multifamily investment. So what does that mean? Well, because you have multiple family units in the property, you're exponentially increasing the income by having 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 either tenants or families living at your property or at your investment. So that's producing income every single month. So that's how you're creating more income from a multifamily. The second thing about investing in multifamily is that you're able to have less vacancy, or not necessarily less vacancy, but less loss of income. So because you have, say, 10 tenants or 20 tenants, if you lose 1 or 2, that's only a 10% or 20% loss in your income. You're able to have more protection that way as well. So if you have something wrong with 1 tenant, you're still getting 9 checks every month or 9 sources of different incomes from that one multifamily building. The third thing about multifamily that you need to know is that you're able to control the value. The way a multifamily property, especially units that are 5 units and above, the way those are valued is based on a cap rate, or based on the income that it produces, the net income that it produces. And so you can control that income based on market rents. You can either decrease the value, you could increase the income and control the expenses a lot more. With single families, you can't really do that because it's the market conditions, what your neighbor's house that's similar to you sold for, that's really the value of your home. You don't have much control of that. But with multifamilies, you do. The fourth thing about multifamily investing that you need to know is that it's trending. Hashtag trending. The reason why it's trending is because a lot of Gen Y, Millennials, Gen Z, they all prefer to live in multi-families versus owning a home because number one, they can't afford it. Some of those single family homes, especially in California, are in a very high price point. But also they like that sense of community. In fact, the community, the amenities, in fact, retirees are coming back into urban settings, living into multi-families because they're able to have those amenities that they don't necessarily need to maintain. So that's number 4. In conclusion, if you're looking to invest in single family or multifamily, it depends on your goals. It depends on your risk orientation. It depends on if you want to be more conservative, if you want to be more aggressive, if you're aiming to go short term or long term, if you want to make equity build up, or if you're looking to just have cash flow on a monthly basis. It all depends on your goals. So good luck. Those are your Tuesday tips. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Cheers.